Welcome to Subramani. This is going to be a little difficult video for me to do. I have been asked, should I get out of the Hdfc Flexicap Fund? It's difficult because of two reasons. One, I have been an investor in this fund for a very long period of time. It used to be called Hdfc Equity Fund. It's got a stellar track record. I think last 5-year return is about 13%. And over long periods of time it has performed even better. It was managed by a fund manager with very strong conviction in his portfolio, little contrarian approach, little scarily contrarian approach during periods of time when everybody else thought that this should not be done. He could do it. He was a fund manager who was willing to look bad in the short run to look good in the long run. This is a very, very important thing for anybody who is interested in fund management, especially in public life. You have to be willing to look bad in the short run, and the people who are reviewing what you're doing have to have conviction in your conviction, right? So that's very difficult for anybody. I mean, don't look at the 2022 Prashant Jain, look at the Prashant Jain of 2002 or maybe 1998. How was he able to convince the powers that be, that is the Milind Barves and the Deepak Parekhs of the world, apart from the trustees and board of directors? How could he convince them at that stage that the world is wrong but I am right? Because today you have a track record of saying, okay, I got it right in 2008, I got it right in 2012, I got it right in 2014. So then people look at you and say, okay, you seem to be reaching a party a little early, but you don't stay too late. You don't wait for the people with 8 pegs and 12 pegs to start puking. You leave the party earlier. So this is the background with which Prashant was managing. So here is a fund with very good long-term record, but with a very volatile long-term record, right? So when there is volatility and volatility hits you, are you able to sit calm? So this fund is going to be a greater reflection on you rather than on the fund, right? So having said all these things about the fund, now there is a change of guard. One Jain goes in and another Jain comes in. So Prashant Jain exits. Prashant Jain is an engineer MBA, and he is going to be replaced by a chartered accountant MBA, that is Roshi Jain. Now again, let me tell you my biases. I am already invested in this fund. I have liked Roshi Jain's attitude towards her portfolio while she was at her previous job, which was at Franklin Templeton. She had a lot of conviction in her portfolio, and her boss perhaps had a lot of conviction in her portfolio. So some of her portfolios did well, some of her portfolios didn't do well. So here I am showing off my bias. I am telling you that, look, that is bias. I am going to stay invested. What you want to do, you can do. The other bias for me, the problem rather for me, is again a confirmation bias, because my portfolio, whenever I have compared it to Roshi's portfolio, it's a lot similar. So when it is easy to like a person's child if that person is doing similar things, like when she was invested in Tata Motors DVR, it was not doing well at all. I had the mortification of buying Tata Motors DVR at 90, watching it go to 330 and then coming down below 90, right? So I traveled that whole journey, and in her portfolio, I think she had Bharti, Airtel. I am not very sure whether she had Vodafone. She had SBI. So a lot of things which were there in my portfolio was there in her portfolio. So it became very difficult. I could not criticize her portfolio because she was thinking just the way I was thinking. So then the bias gets worse. So I am going to stay on in the Hdfc Flexicap Fund. I do think Roshi will do a great job. But this is the first time Roshi is handling a fund of this size, of 26,000 crores. She will be constantly compared to Prashant Jain. Please also remember that Prashant Jain had become Prashant Jain in 2022. So comparing a Prashant Jain and Roshi Jain is unfair. 2032 Roshi Jain would be a better person to compare to a 2022 Prashant Jain. But Roshi Jain is going to handle such a big fund, a fund of this size perhaps for the first time. Otherwise she was handling smaller funds, maybe 8,000 crores, 5,000 crores, whatever, definitely not 27,000 crores or 26,000 crores which it has as of today. That is going to be one challenge. She also does not have the power or the, let's say, the backing of Deepak Parekh and Milind Barve, even to a slightly extended Aditya Puri or Deepak Satwalikar. None of these people are going to be available. Of course, Mr. Satwalikar quit the group 12-13 years ago, but she does not have a Milind Barve to turn to. She has a Navneet Munot, she has got a Chirag Setalwad. So I don't think she needs too much of support there. I'm going to stay invested. It is your call, because I know that it will be a fund with a huge variance, right? There will be bouts of bad performance and good performance. I have some money at stake in the Flexicap Fund, which used to be called the Equity Fund. I think they would be at 4-5% cash, but I mean, no point in looking at the 31st July portfolio or 30th June portfolio. I do not know what is the position as of now. One will have to see whether she is willing to take those big bets, whether she has a lot of conviction. She is again not a high beta kind of a fund manager, so one will have to see how her style blends with Prashant's style, or whether she makes big, bold, brave changes and holds on with the conviction with which she would hold on when she was handling other funds. So I am willing to give it a shot, and even at some stage, if I am not very comfortable, I may exit partially. But am I willing to continue my SIP in that fund? Yes, by all means. Am I going to panic and get out? No. I want to see whether she changes the portfolio to a longer portfolio or whether she makes it a shorter portfolio. I would think she would make it a shorter portfolio, but I don't know. And also the question is, when you're handling fund size of 26,000 crores and you put, say, 10% in one company, the number of companies in which you can enter and exit 2,600 crores very quickly in India is not very high. So her portfolio choices become smaller. So it would be nice to see how she navigates through all this. She inherits a great team in Hdfc. It's a question of how much she is able to extract out of that team, hold on to her conviction, and manage a fund far bigger than what she has managed so far. Knowing her portfolio, I think she'll do a good job. Knowing her track record looks good. So I have not yet met her after she has taken this new assignment. I've seen her earlier, so one will have to see how the whole thing pans out. Right now, it's hold and watch, put on review, like what I've done even with the Hdfc Top 100 Fund. Hopefully, in the long run, maybe in 2032, I'll get back to you and say, well, my conviction paid off. Thank you.